Good morning and good evening. My name is Kathy D'Ambrosi, and I'm your host of NFT Malam.
And this is Ruler and Peace, your co-host. Welcome to NFT Malam, everyone.
Welcome. We are at our 39th week. Do you know what that means? It means in 13 weeks, we will have arrived at 52 weeks. We will be celebrating 1 year of NFT Malam with an exciting review of our year, whether it's live or in flashbacks. We can't wait to celebrate all of the highlights of this past year, the accomplishments, breakthroughs, ups and downs of this year in Web3, the platforms, the hits, and the misses. We have already begun working on our year celebration show. But back to you, Ruler and Peace. What is hot on the NFT block, as in chain? What's good on the blockchain?
Well, what I'm going to share with you today is just a little tidbit about Adidas is in the news, believe it or not. And so, this is hot off the press, so I'm just going to go ahead and just tilt my head this way for a moment and just say that stepping into the future with alts by Adidas, the evolution of NFTs, according to Adidas. And so, are you ready to take your NFT game to the next level? Well, hold on to your hats because Adidas just announced their latest project, Alt by Adidas. And if you thought NFTs were already cool, wait until you hear about this dynamic, evolving NFT that will transform over time based on your decision and engagement. Kind of sounds like AI, if you know what I mean. And so is like according to the release, chapter 1, Alters is just the beginning of a journey that will lead you to own an exclusive Alts by Adidas identity. Your alter ego is the first of 8 different traits that will determine your unique identity. And if that's not enough to get you excited, your alt ego will also provide you with an exclusive utility that's tailored to your interests. Plus, there's an interactive storyline that will keep you hooked until the end of chapter 3. So it goes on, and by the time you get to chapter 3, it's like you have this PFP that will be created, et cetera, et cetera. So Adidas is in. Adidas is in
What's
hard.
what is the blockchain it's on?
It is not. It's not telling me at the particular moment. This is just the very
Okay.
beginning of the news, and so we will have to keep our listeners up to date. But it is something that they have just announced. It's like I said, this is hot off the presses, and so we will just have to bear with the release of information, if you know what I mean. And so, but that's what I have to share this week. Adidas is in the
I,
game.
I think it's one ETH.
Uh-huh.
Ah, I'm seeing a price and it looks like it's one ETH. Of course it. Oh, it's on OpenSea. It is. There's 3,000. Oh, it's 0.8 ETH. There's 3,000.8 owners. There's 4,000.8 items, and it's 0.8 ETH. $1,587.
Mm.
And they are already, oh yeah, some of them are already being listed for an ETH. Some are listed for 0.53 weeks, wrapped ETHs. Interesting. Some are on sale. Up 0.4. Get it while it's on sale. $6.99.
Mm.
All I want for my birthday is an
Gotcha.
Adidas NFT. It might be my first big purchase. We'll see.
All right, and so there you go, Coffee. I'm going to send it back over to you. And
All
so,
right. Thank you very much for Learn Peace Today on NFT Malam, we have Christopher out of Australia. Welcome, Christopher Boyd. Oh, please. Welcome, Christopher.
Hey, Chris.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Today we have Christopher Boyd from MGEN Labs, who is here to discuss his journey from the arts into digital assets, Web3 technology. We're going to discuss his thoughts of Web3, the future, where that's leading. And also, he is hosting an event May 4th in Australia. So we will be discussing that. Welcome, Christopher. I'm going to take ruler and peace down. Welcome, Christopher, to NFT Malam, the podcast. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Kathy. Happy to be here. Happy to chat all things Web3.
Yes, absolutely. So why don't you give us a little introduction as to who you are, where you're coming from, the company you're running now, your personal company, how you ended up in MGEN Labs. Disclaimer, I am part of MGEN, the home family, and you are part of our sister cohort, MGEN Labs, which is its own entity. So I have to give that disclaimer, because we're like Web3 family. But please, can you start from the beginning, where you come from in terms of the corporate world, what you're doing now in corporate world, and then how you arrived into Web3 and also into our Web3 community of Metaverse generation.
Okay. So for the last 25 years, roughly, I've been working in creative media. So a lot of film and television, music, and also education. So education around creative media. I've been a producer. I've got a sound engineering background. I'm also a videographer and an editor, and I've got a post-production background as well. So I've got all of those types of skills that I've been using for the last sort of it's been about 25 years that I've been in this industry. I've got my own company. We're based here on the Gold Coast in Australia, and we produce mostly corporate mini documentaries these days, and we do a lot of work with the City of Gold Coast, which is the council here to promote the city. So yeah, and before that, we've had this particular company for about 10 years. And before that, and during some of that as well, I was a university lecturer at Bond University here in the School of Film and Television. And I taught audio production, I taught post-production, advanced post-production, and producing for their graduation films. And I did that for 12 years between 2005 and 2017. I've made a cameo appearance back there recently. They've got me back to do some more things. So I'm doing work there at the moment. So yeah, and I guess the more relevant, newer stuff is my foray into blockchain, which started many years ago. And not that I regret this, but I sort of do in a way. My company was working on two separate documentaries about Bitcoin. One was made in 2012. And the other was made in 2014, I believe. So I had these documentaries in front of me, and we were watching, because when you're in post-production, you obviously watch it many, many times to either mix or do the color grading or the things that we were doing with the projects. So I was watching these and thinking, oh, this is excellent technology, and I really like this Bitcoin thing and all of that.
Did you get any?
Oh, look, at the time, I think it was about, well, it was around that sort of between $100 and $1,000 kind of mark. So, and I didn't really, I got given some, which I still have, but I didn't actually buy any. And my business partner, he's got even a worse story. In 2010, he responded to a text message thing, which allowed you to buy Bitcoin. And he bought about $400 worth in 2010, which was thousands of Bitcoin. I don't know. I think he said it might have been around 20,000, 40,000 Bitcoin, something like that. It was a lot back then, or maybe it was, I'm not sure, but it was in the thousands anyway. I don't know exactly. And he sold them. I think he paid about $200, and he sold it for about $2,000 about a year later. So he was really, really happy with himself. He said, oh, this is great. And we did some figures recently, and he'd be worth, a few $100 million now if we just kept those. So we've got some interesting stories around it, but that's where it started. And then the 2017 bull run is where I actually started buying properly before it kind of, really kicked off. And then again in 2019 and 2020, I went in heavy as an investor.
Dip.
By the dip, yeah. 2020 was good. March through to sort of, I bought a lot, and watched it go all the way up, and then watched it go all the way down, and then all the way up, and then all the way down again.
We say buy the dip. We say buy the dip in our little.
Yeah. So I'm a hodler essentially.
You're
personally.
hodl.
Yeah. That led me to consume a lot of content on blockchain. Web3. For the last 4 years, I've consumed a lot of content, and that led me to study blockchain application. So here we've got several schools that offer courses, and I'm studying through the TAFE. It's like a technical college here in Australia, and they offer diplomas in blockchain application and advanced diplomas in blockchain application. So
tell us what TAFE stands for our international community.
It's not an acronym. It's just a name of the organization. It's quite semi-government funded and also enrollments based income. But it's like a technical college, not a university, just a level under that. So yeah, I'm doing that.
It means technical and further education. It is an acronym.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know that. Probably should have known that.
I just wanted to share that with you. I'm like, it's an acronym.
Yeah. So that's that, and then I've been studying that now for the last sort of 9 months. We're coming to the end of the course. So yeah, that has been very interesting in relation to, not necessarily, it doesn't talk about the crypto assets. It just talks about blockchain, the immutable ledger, and how it can be applied for disintermediation within business. So
fantastic.
That led to the formation of the MGEN Labs team, which started with 2 of the students and the lecturer as well. And then I was invited in because they were in my class essentially. So they invited me to join the team, and I was happy to get involved. It was a no-brainer. There's been lots of talk about lots of what we're going to do, but in the last 4 months we've actually launching an event which is happening on May the 4th. We've partnered with TAFE. This is their first blockchain event as well, Web3 event as well, and we're holding a sort of a 2-hour session of seminars and student blockchain application ideas being presented to the group.
Fantastic. Let's check that video out.
Yep.
Fantastic. So this is a live event in Australia, correct? And the location is where again?
It's at the TAFE Coomera campus, which is the creative hub for TAFE Queensland, which is roughly midway between Brisbane and the Gold Coast in Queensland, so the 2 capitals of Queensland.
Fantastic. Well, I will be inviting a couple of people to come through.
Excellent.
From my group of Australian Web3 friends. Fantastic.
Well, it's going to be great. It's kind of the first of its kind because it's showcasing the content within the courses. So it's actually showcasing the product that the students are coming up with. And we've selected roughly 4 application proposals to happen on the night. We have a sponsor as well now. We've got a company out of Melbourne called Australian Hardware Wallets, and they're supplying us 4 hardware wallets, Tangem hardware wallets, for the students that are actually presenting their ideas on the night. So that's excellent as well. It's a good result. So we're getting the students into actually holding their physical assets on or their crypto assets on a hardware wallet. And on top of that, we've got 3 amazing speakers that are going to do the keynotes on the night.
Okay.
The first will be a gentleman called Austin Lewin-Smith, and he is the founder of a company called Blockchain Collective, who wrote all of the courses that TAFE facilitates. So they wrote the courses, and they're called they're called registered training organization approved courses. So TAFE takes those and facilitates them through their learning channels. So he's an amazing. He's also a developer, and he's huge in the blockchain space here. And we've also got a gentleman called Darren Rogan, who's a serial entrepreneur within blockchain. He's a local guy. He runs a lot of communities here, but he's also been heavily involved at the forefront of entrepreneurial activities around blockchain. So he's from Europe, and he's been here. I think he's been here a little while, but he's also got a lot of international ties. And lastly, we've got the Chief Information Officer from the City of Gold Coast, who's our local council here. It's quite large. And he's going to be speaking about the city's digital strategy and how new technologies can be implemented into governance from a governmental level and starting at local councils and possibly going up to sort of state and federal level. So that's going to be fascinating, because we think that governance here is a huge area for disintermediation with blockchain. So we're working with them. They've got a series of innovation grants as well that they're about to roll out in the new financial year here, which starts just after July. And they're looking to fund organisations to develop these opportunities in the digital space to help governments. So he's going to be speaking as well, and his entire team is coming to the night as well. So and then we'll have our application ideas. Our students are going to be listening. I've already seen some of them, and they're pretty good. So it'll be fascinating to see how that's interpreted on the night. And then we're going to have guest speakers are going to be acting like a panel, and they're going to be interacting with the students as they do, not as, but possibly after they do their application pitch presentation. So there'll be a bit of toing and froing between the panel, maybe the audience, and the students who are doing their presentation. So it should be a fun night. It's going to be not too long.
Great.
So we're trying to limit it to a couple of hours, but it'll be great. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, I definitely am about to text my Web3 guru friends in Brisbane and see about them attending the event. They have a project, a Web3 blockchain project regarding information technology used in a medical sense in terms of preserving and helping doctors keep medical information available and safe, and then also providing communication for people in rural areas. So I'm going to see if I can send them to this event. They're located in Brisbane. But let's fill it up. And hopefully next event, our MGEN team from the States can attend and support MGEN Labs in Australia. We would love to be there for you and support your event. So we are excited that you could come on, speak about MGEN Labs. And speaking of MGEN Labs, MGEN Labs can be found on LinkedIn, correct?
It can, yes. I'm not sure if you're going to put the links in, if there's somewhere we can put it, but yeah, it's all on LinkedIn.
You can. I cannot share from my screen, but hold on. Let me share with our co-host. our MGen Labs page, which I was just looking at. Yeah, we would love people to join us on MGen Labs on LinkedIn. And I am a co-admin under Christopher. Hi, Christopher.
Hello, here I am.
Co-admin.
Here I am.
I'm here to support you, which is why I gave the disclaimer, because we support each other. Hold on. LinkedIn. So tell us more. What else is coming up? So this is going to be a fantastic event, May 4th, Australian time.
Yes.
Australia. FYI, Australia.
Yes.
This is a live event in Australia. And we'd like to invite all of our Australian friends there. That's one. And then this is MGen's first live event. We've had a few online events, but this is our first live in-person event brought to you by Metaverse Generation and MGen Labs. So we're excited. And then let us go to MGen Labs. Hold please. So MGen Labs, let me send this to Ruler in Peace, and he can put it up.
Whilst he's putting that up, we can talk a little bit about, the philosophy behind MGen Labs here. I mean, we're looking, it's an inclusive and international community. So everyone's a professional that's involved. And we're looking to, the main thing that we found here in Australia was there was communities, being formed, but they weren't being formed under a professional brand, essentially. So MGen came about in relation to addressing that so that larger organizations or, maybe more high profile, higher net worth individuals would see it as a brand and not just a group of local people coming together to have Web3. So that was the whole basis behind it. And it's now an international community as well, obviously. So we've got, the online community overseas. But it's kind of taking that to the next level in relation to showing a brand presence within the blockchain and Web3 space that's not a development team, and it's not it's not what people typically see as Web3. It's more so a community looking to link projects, looking to develop and build, but not necessarily a development company, as a community to share ideas, to talk things around and to get these blockchain application ideas to market. Essentially, that's the main goal behind it.
Right. And here is our MGen Labs, which is a Web 3.0 community to connect and network. You can find us on LinkedIn. Our very own Christopher Boyd is the admin, and I am co-admin. You can also inbox me if you have any questions, and I can forward you to the correct person to talk and discuss MGen Labs with. You can also find MGen Labs under my link tree, which is Studio Kafi, Kafi. And I love this philosophy of yours in terms of really creating a concrete network that is next level professional, which means there's a goal. There's written goals down. There is, you're calculating the factors of people working within this space. You are crafting projects and trying to meet projects or connect people with the proper projects and connect projects with the proper people. So it's an activated space. It's an activated launch pad. in the oldest sense of the word, where you're uplifting and trying to reach and connect people together without being a fully fledged development business. But we
Yes.
are creating action, we're creating connection, and you're creating forward movement, which is exciting.
And education, that's
Education.
the biggest problem I see in blockchain is, and the biggest benefit, because it's a double-edged sword, is that whenever you say blockchain, people say, "Oh, that Bitcoin thing," and obviously education is just so important, because you're either going to have somebody that likes Bitcoin and Ethereum and the crypto assets, or you're going to have somebody that just thinks it's a scam, essentially. So there's those two. Those two.
Even people, I'm in Web3, and I have crypto people who don't know, who have never been educated properly
Yes.
on blockchain.
Exactly.
Me, because I have NFT in my thing. They're like, "How's crypto treating you?" I was like, I'm fine with crypto. I don't need a program. I don't need you to teach me anything. I'm in Web3. You have nothing to teach me. Let my program. I'm already in Web3. If you don't understand what that statement means, it means you don't know anything about crypto.
Yeah.
Because if I say that to someone who's already in crypto, they don't say anything else to me. I'm already in Web3. If I say I'm already in Web3 and you continue with your spiel, like you're going to teach me about crypto, I know you know nothing of which you speak of. I know you're a scam.
So much of that education is unfortunately learnt the hard way, as you saw with FTX and BlockFi and Celsius collapsing, and people that just gave their keys away to
you see it in Twitter. I've had people in my DMs and Clubhouse saying, "Should I invest in this?" I'm like, get out now. That's not real blockchain. I had the scam of, "Hey, how's crypto treating you?" That's the fake line.
Yeah.
Crypto has nothing to do with me. Do I watch the prices? Yes. Do I buy $5 worth of, funny duddies, fun facts? Sometimes.
Doggy coin.
Fun coins. I call them fun coins because I like to stay positive.
Yes.
Do I buy fun coins?
$1 billion fun coins these days, aren't they?
You never know. I'm the kind of person who wins at chess because of my anxiety, not because of my skill. I'm like duck and weave. So I'm the same. It's the same principle with buying, blockchain currency. I'm like duck and weave. What's good? What's good for the week? But what I was talking, that education portion on Twitter, a man came on and said, "Coinbase lost my money and they're not safe and it's hard to get into tech." I was like, "Sir, number one, in blockchain, you are your own customer service. You are your own bank. You jumped on a wagon you are not prepared to ride on, sir. Coinbase is safe. You exposed your wallet to you showed your wallet to someone you are not supposed to show your wallet to, and they decided to empty it for you. And just like in regular banks or centralized banks, you don't put all your money in one wallet, sir. And here's a little more education. Don't open your wallet in front of other people.
Yes.
Coinbase is safe. You are not safe.
Well, that's the thing. It's social apathy around self-sovereignty, which is a huge problem. And people are so used to having an intermediary look after their things that the idea of buying a hardware wallet, understanding a seed phrase, understanding, that you can put unlimited amounts of money on this tiny device. It's not on the device, obviously, but the private keys are stored in that. That is just blows people's minds, and it's almost like you have to take them back evolution a couple of 100 years, when people used to have to store everything in their houses to get by. The idea of self-sovereignty is coming back, and that's one thing when I really started to buy in 2020, and straight away, I was being told from the research I was doing, hardware wallet this, hardware wallet that. I was almost going to print out the private keys like on a piece of paper. That's how old school I was looking at it. But of course, I bought the hardware wallet, and I got all my crypto off exchange instantly back then, and I just loved it. And it wasn't until there was things that happened around that time where the value on that device was fantastic, and you just go, wow, this is such a good feeling. But you have to be a certain type of individual to know that. And I think if the education side is improved and you can get people on board to sort of say, well, this is how the technology works, this is how you understand it. And there's a lot, as you said, a lot of people, even in crypto, that they just treat it like another investment.
They think
vehicle.
It's an investment, and they think it's easy and fun, and they don't understand HODL. They don't understand that it is a long-term investment. It is not for the quick and easy. So during during the bear market this past year, a lot of NFT creators, digital creators and artists, we were speaking positivity. We were calling it a builder's market, because it really gave us space and time to not continue to try to keep up with the market and the pressure of getting more and more work out, but really to take a time to reflect and really work on our crafts. So we were calling it a builder's market. Plus, it cleaned the slate of all the grifters and a lot of the scam artists who were there just to turn a buck. People are like, oh no. So we're like, So people are like, oh, the crypto FTX, how did that affect you? In no way at all. I watched it on the news. You didn't touch me at all.
Did not touch it. And
I love the drive of the
That's fascinating too, because you've got that portion of the marketplace that hasn't had the education or doesn't want the education about the blockchain application. And I remember very well, my education started when I bought ERC20 tokens, because I was told to buy these ERC20.
That's what you bought first?
Yeah, I did. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I had to put them on my hardware wallet. And I had no comprehension, because I was doing test sends to and from the exchange just with small amounts. I need to buy Ethereum. What's so I was really learning the hard way.
Oh, you learned the hard way.
Yeah, that's very early on. But as soon as I was like, oh, this is the layer 1, and I need that as gas to pay that. And I was like, okay, so what do these ERC20s do? Then I understood what smart contracts did, and then I learned over that.
I learned the opposite way. I was dunked, so I was curious. I was curious for a year, but I had barrier to entry because COVID, lockdown, loss of contracts. So we were in survival. And then one day I had friends listening. They're like, just sit in your chair and do the work and do what you're supposed to do. I was like, okay. Then on a Sunday, I was like, I want to learn about NFTs. On a Monday, I went to a Facebook Live. On Tuesday, I had a one-on-one. On Wednesday, I was at a lunch and learn. On Thursday, I think I minted my first NFT. And on Friday, I was teaching an onboarding.
Wow.
Yeah, in a room on Clubhouse. So within that week, I probably spent over 120 hours learning about blockchain. So I think that was 2 semesters.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was in it. I had those 15-hour, 20-hour Clubhouse days. Then I was reading and listening and reading and reading and reading. So it was about 2 semesters worth of education in a week. Yeah, and then I became an educator. And so I love the fact that you keep stressing education. And so what I tell people is like, I do not promote the way I entered Web3 to anybody. I do have a background in teaching and educating because of teaching TEFL from around the world. So I do have a background in education. I am a certified teacher, TEFL teacher, TESOL. So I have taught around the world. So I don't recommend entering Web3 curious one day and then onboarding people. But when I do onboard people, I spend a good 25, 30 minutes discussing safety. Also, one disclaimer, if you have ADHD and are neurodivergent. The hard wallet is not for you. If you forget things, leave things, drop things, can't remember why you walked into the room, the hard wallet is not for you. And when I teach, I go through all the ways on how to keep your seed phrase safe and create legacy for your family. The hard wallet, because we lose
that's evolving though too. If you look at the sponsor that we've got, the manufacturer of the wallets that we're getting for the students, Tangem, what they've come up with is a lot different. The private keys are stored on what looks like a bank card that they give you. On the chips in them are very similar to on bank cards. So the private keys are stored on these bank cards. So there actually isn't a seed phrase. It's scanned on your phone.
Okay.
Then there's a backup card scanned as well, and these things are just durable, ridiculous.
Interesting.
There's evolution happening in the front end there, which is
Let's see. But if someone has your seed, this is the key. If someone has your seed phrase, they have your money.
Have your money, exactly.
I lose things. Let me give the disclaimer for all my neurodivergent artists. We cannot hold these things in our hands. When I tell you, I have sat in a row in an auditorium and lost all my stuff within less than 2 minutes. I just sat down and put my stuff down and I lost it while sitting down, while placing it next to me. I'm telling you. Some of us are gifted. Some of us are gifted and we're artists and we speak multiple languages and visually we create beautiful things. But we can't parallel park, nor can we hold on to objects.
Yeah.
We will lose those objects at least 8 to 10 times. Sometimes they're returned to us, sometimes they're not. If you are in crypto and you have ADHD and you have ever lost anything in your life, or you walk into a room and do not know why, you must secure your seed phrase in an alternate way. And that will be covered in my class, Web3.
Absolutely.
We can't.
Fantastic options.
But that's a disclaimer. You must say that in any education because we will lose it. And if you lose your card, if you lose your seed phrase, you've lost your money.
You're in trouble. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'd love to be part of your education.
Good knowledge. It's great knowledge to have. And great thinking.
Because it's legacy.
Yeah.
Right. So what I do is when I teach about the seed phrase, we write it down on a piece of paper. And you must write legibly. And you write the numbers 1 through 12, depending on what platform we're onboarding. 1 through 12 or 1 through 15 or 1 through 24. But we just start with 1 through 12. We write the corresponding numbers. We keep that in front of us. Then when we go through and they want us to match the numbers. Then after that's done and you're fully onboarded, then I spend a chunk, discussing legacy, meaning how many copies of this paper you need to make. One needs to go into your bank vault. Another one needs to go to your lawyer. And you need to immediately will these numbers to whoever. They need to be willed immediately because whoever has the seed phrase has the money. So immediately to create legacy for your family, for your friends, or an endowment or a nonprofit, you must, or even to get the residuals from those music NFTs or the secondary sales, immediately, this is like a legal document. This seed phrase, it becomes part of your estate, right? So the minute you make that seed phrase paper, that becomes part of your estate, right? Or it can become part of a living will. You must take that piece of paper to your lawyer, get it notarized, and have it and will it to whoever you want. And it'll state that all of these funds, the royalties, go to the person who holds the key.
Yeah. And that's
so immediately, I cover that in my class immediately. Like this, because you don't know, you could have one NFT and it's worth $1 million. And you could die.
It's a brilliant thing by itself. When you think about it, you're like, wow, even that
or
is just such a
secondary
great.
sales, right? And it also covers anything can be an NFT, right? So imagine before grandpa dies, grandpa takes a picture of the house, all the documents. It's like, I NFT the house is being sold to avoid death taxes. Imagine
Oh, geez.
grandpa selling his house as an NFT. I'm
Yeah, that,
just saying,
yeah,
to create
yeah.
a living will or a living trust. So like, so we have, I think I'm on a board that helps influence blockchain law, right? So, the laws are changing. They're trying to create more centralization within the laws of Web3 and blockchain. And we're like, no, we ain't doing that, right? So, but in order to protect the legacy of our Web3 assets, of our digital assets, we have to do some Web 2 stuff, which is when we write it down, we have to make an immediate copy. That piece of paper becomes a legal document, especially if you sign and date it and put, this is part of my estate. Your Web3 assets become part of your estate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a wonderful it's a wonderful vehicle to store assets as well, because it is a fairly simple
Photos.
thing at the same time.
Photos. Yes. And then one of our I won't say sponsor, but one of our amazing speakers on NFT Malam, who we love, Jeng School, came on and discussed Filecoin. And
Yes.
Filecoin actually has free storage
Yes.
for NFT creators up to 1 terabyte. I'm like, what?
Amazing.
So get in on that. They are the second top tier ENS provider. But
Yes.
Filecoin is being slept on by the artistic community. I would say level up artists. They are so worth it. And then if you have bigger projects, Filecoin is where it's at in terms of digital storage and safety. Filecoin is popping. And we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about it enough. So big data people, they talk about Filecoin, but I think Filecoin is key going forward for artists and digital creators. And I am partial to Jing School.
Yeah, I heard him speak.
Disclaimer.
He was here at the crypto convention last year.
He was one of our earliest speakers on NFT Malam. So you are now among NFT Malam alumni.
Alumni. That's a good word, alumni. Like that university.
Right? So we're gonna close here. I think we got enough juiciness for NFT Malam today. We're so excited to have you here. You have to come back. I think you may be coming back next week, Christopher, to discuss the event a little more. It's going to be a little shorter, but I think you're coming back with a little more juiciness, with some links of our speakers and all of the info. So we're going to have a little bit more of you in a smaller bite next week. We can't wait to have you come and talk about this May 4th event. Feel free to bring any of your team members, anything that we can share with our group. Thank you so much for being with us today. Give us the name of your event one more time, please.
So it's called Web 3.0, The Future of Business. May the 4th between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. at the TAFE Coomera campus, which is basically in between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So TAFE Gold Coast Coomera campus.
So make sure you have somewhere, whether it's in your speech or on a plaque, may the 4th be with you, because half of us are
as soon as the date came up, I'm like, oh, this is just perfect.
It's too much. It has to be somewhere in the presentation. You're like, let me just get it out of the way. May the 4th be with you, because we're all Star Wars. A lot of us are Star Wars.
I've got photos of me as a kid with the original Darth Vader outfit from 1981. So I'm definitely I'm that generation for sure.
I'm the same generation too.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Christopher, thank you so much. Ruler and Peas, come back up. let me let you add your last thoughts. Ruler and Peace, are you with us?
Yes, I am with you. Christopher, it's been really great to have you. Thank you for sharing your wisdoms. I'm looking forward to the program, and I'm looking forward to all the other things that we talked. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just experienced a very brilliant human being who's got some really great ideas locked inside of his brain. And so as he comes back and shares more information and shows up in other situations, um, you will be as impressed as I am with this gentleman. It's been a real pleasure having you here, sir.
Thank you, Ruler and Peace. Yeah, I'm looking forward to our next few conversations. I'd say we can talk for quite a long time. So it'll be fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so with that is like Miss Coffee's orientation. You got her so discombobulated. She's come here and there, and now she's back.
That way.
I was Twitter pated by the event. I was so excited.
And so shall we go out with our Miss Vessie Minx? Let me load this.
Let's, because we're excited.
I think for you, Ruler and Peace as well, you might recognize that picture behind me. Not quite sure if you recognize that picture. I'll bring it a bit closer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't go chasing. Who's that?
Oh,
Is that Paul McCartney?
It's like I can't see the face. I can't see who's playing the piano.
Is that Paul McCartney?
No, it's actually not Paul McCartney.
Not Paul McCartney. What's his face? The tiny guy.
John Lennon.
It was John Lennon.
I was close.
Yeah, it's like because it was kind of looking like Jin, but it's not clear on my screen. And so, but yeah, it's
that's the original picture from the recording of Imagine, the song. And you see the mic and the piano there.
I see the mic and the piano, exactly.
So that's the original setup they had, but it was too loud in that room. So they actually recorded the piano on his old stand-up upright piano, which is a brown one. But that picture was taken, and that was a part of the original album artwork, which I had framed about 30 years ago, and I've still got it.
New frame.
Yeah. So you'd enjoy that.
No,
absolutely.
Can you take a picture of that and just send it to me?
Yeah, sure thing.
Absolutely. Oh, we're still recording. Okay, let's go back. We're still on the show.
I digressed on you. I do apologize.
I know, because we had the whole conversation about music. Once again, I want to thank Christopher Boyd of MGEN Labs for being with us today on our 39th week, The Road to 1 year. Thank you so much, Christopher. It has been wonderful. You were a delight, a fantastic speaker, and we can't wait to see a little bit of you next week with our speakers. Ruler and Peace, as always, exciting NFT news that I didn't even see. So, of course, I want an Adidas. Do I want Adidas? Not necessarily Adidas. Alt. I was questioning the naming of the NFT. I don't feel comfortable in my soul buying something called Alt, especially with the Adidas history. I might pass and just watch from afar, see what happens. Personal feelings, but we can't wait to watch it. We're going to watch it and report on it. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us at this NFT Malam number 39. Number 40 is next week. Let's see what little spiciness we can bring up. We are headed out on one of our favorite songs, actually the NFT Malam theme song. It is called Let Us Load This. It is written by Vessie Mink, and music is by my favorite fake boyfriend, DJ No Sin of Massive Z Productions out of San Francisco. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.